It's good, y'all. Um, Sorry for the noise in the back. Got my heat blasting. This bitch is cold outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the Midwest, so it's cold as hell. Um, I wanted to talk about something today, and it's about reading. I seen a comment, from the last video that I talked about, about just talking about my situation, where I'm at right now. And people were saying, that they liked it and I should do more motivational videos. Now, what that made me think of is, I wouldn't say I'm would be doing motivational videos. I'm not a motivational speaker type of person, like the TED Talk type of shit. Like advice isn't the thing. Like I can give advice, but like I'm still learning myself. Definitely could tell you about like my experiences, but I like the concept of just making videos of talking to y'all and just talking about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's them are really good videos just to talk to y'all. Not too much editing, me playing the game and all that shit. Like, that's not saying I won't play the game in the near future because I will, but I like doing these videos. I'm kind of in a headspace where I just want to talk. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk to y'all and open up to y'all. With that said, though, something that I've just got into like a year or two ago is reading. And if y'all hear squeaking, that's just my chair. My bad. I've gotten into reading like a year or two ago when I was still in college, my sophomore year in college. Um, it was just something that I was watching One Piece pretty much, and One Piece is pretty long, so I wanted to catch up as fast as possible, but I still wanted to enjoy the ride. So what I did was, after I got to the time skip, so it was during like the Fishman Island arc, I started to read the manga because the anime was like it wasn't moving fast enough for me. So, what I'm saying? It was kind of like taking too long. And, they spread it out like half a chapter and all that other shit. So, certain like arcs in the story, I would just read and just watch the important scenes. Like, I did that for Fishman Island. I did it for the Zoe arc. I did it for I did half and half with a Hokage Island, and then I got to Wano and I was watching Wano, and then it got to the point where I was like, this shit kind of taking too long. I'm finna just start reading the manga because I'm already getting spoiled anyway from YouTube videos. Because recommendation, I watch one anime video, all the anime videos pop up, and like y'all know, I watch Shonen Showdown, so a lot of One Piece and all the other anime stuff gonna pop up anyway. But yeah, like I just started with that, and it led to me, just venturing out on other stuff. Like I remember when Chainsaw Man first came out, I watched like 2 episodes and it made me want to read the whole manga. So I read all of, because only part one was out during that time, so I read all of part one, and like, I was still watching anime too, but I read all of part one, and that was, it was nice, and as of right now, I've read a good amount of manga. Like I still read regular stories too, but I've been kind of in my manga space right now. I've been, I'm, I need to finish Tokyo Ghoul. I haven't finished that yet. You know what I'm saying? I was reading that, but I gotta get back to it. Um, I read, I'm caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm caught up on One Punch Man. I'm caught up on Chainsaw Man, obviously. Um, I'm caught up on Don Da Don. Shout out Don Da Don. Yeah, like there's a good amount that I'm caught up to. I can't think of right now, but I wouldn't necessarily call myself I've read Fire Punch. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird ass manga, but it got some good quality to it. Um, but Grand Blue, funny as hell. But I've been getting into the manga space because I've been hearing there's good stories, and like I like to read. Like if the anime was done wrong, I'm I was like, fuck it. If it's such a good story and everybody's saying it's good, I'll read the manga since they got hold on the anime side. You know what I'm saying? So that's more the reason why I kind of been doing it. Or if a season is taking too long to get here, then I'll just what I'm saying. So or if I'm just getting spoiled left and right, then I just start reading it. And usually when I read in the middle of the night. I like reading in late night. I get on my phone or my computer or whatever, whatever device I have, and I just lay in my bed before I go to sleep, and I just read, and just have some music playing, probably some lo-fi or whatever, R&B, rap, whatever, rock, whatever. Just have it in my headphones or whatever, and just reading. It's pretty peaceful. Just something that I definitely needed, for peace these past couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So I won't have too much stress before I go to sleep. Anxiety and everything like that. So I've definitely picked up reading, and I draw on my free time. I'm not good, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about the. So I've read. I've been reading, and I've read like 2 stories recently, and those 2 were. So I finished this story called Slam Dunk. Everybody knows what Slam Dunk is. You know what I'm saying? It's a sports manga. It's basically a basketball. A boy. I forgot his name. Let me look it up real quick. So it's a boy, and he's in high school, and he meets this cute girl. The cliche stuff. And then, to win her heart over, he decides to play basketball because he sees that she likes basketball. She likes basketball. So at first, he there might be spoilers, by the way. Probably not a lot, but there will be spoilers in this video based on these 2 stories, maybe. But yeah, he basically just joins the basketball team in order to impress her, so she can notice him. And he doesn't know he doesn't know anything about basketball. He doesn't know the rules. He doesn't know anything. So literally the story is him learning how to play basketball, but also learning how to grow and mature as a person. And he learns that through playing these basketball games and practicing with his teammates, talking to his coach, talking to his peers and everything. And it's such a beautiful story because it's not just about the sports, it's about growing as a person, and he really did grow as a person. It went from him being a delinquent and just getting mad at everything and, thinking he a genius for doing one little thing to, hey, it ain't even about playing basketball for this girl anymore. I really like this sport and I really want to win and I really want to learn how to get better. And I really want to train and discipline myself to do what I have to do to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's learning little things that you would probably already know about if you play basketball, like a jump shot, a layup, dribbling, the violations, traveling, everything, and it's just as the reader you feel a sense of happiness for him because he's showing what he learned on the court and it's affecting the game. You know what I mean? He's helping them win, and it's a really good story. I'm trying to kind of just put my emphasis on it. I don't really want to say too much. Kind of want y'all to read it because I feel like it can help. You know what I'm saying? With just personally. Especially I know a lot of the viewers in here, well, the viewers that watch me are around my age that are probably adults, but I'm sure there's some people in high school that could learn from this. You know what I'm saying? Not even just this. A lot of sports anime have this. Haikyuu, Hajime no Ippo, those have some good character development and lessons in them. And that's the thing with manga and anime, they have lessons in them. You just gotta find the right ones that'll fit for you, and yeah, it's a really good story, bro. But another one that I wanted to talk about, hold on, y'all, I forgot to look up his name. I know I'm all over the place. That's what I like about this though. This isn't pre-planned. This is just me talking to y'all. This is just me talking to y'all. Also, the dude who wrote Slam Dunk, He has written this story called Vagabond. It's not finished because I really don't know why it's not finished. I think it's because of mental health issues or whatever. He's taking a break for his mental. But I heard that was a good story too. I was thinking about reading that too. So, but yeah, his name is Hanamichi, and he has red hair. I'll show it on the screen or whatever. He has red hair. He's the main character of the story. He's the one that's going through all that development. And when it comes to basketball, you always have that one person that got so much talent. So that's his rival. All the girls like the dude with a lot of talent. So he's kind of like trying to catch up to him and everything. My only gripe with the story is how it ended. Like, I'm not mad at the ending, but I just wish it was more. Like, I just wish it was more. That's all. But yeah, another story that I wanted to talk about was it's a manga called Goodnight Pum Pum. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, that does sound crazy. But I've been reading that. I'm not finished yet, but I think I'm almost done there. I got like 30, 40 chapters left. It's pretty much about a boy named Pum Pum. He's you see him. It's like a coming of age story. He's pretty much going through life, and you're seeing him go through life through his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, we see him grow from a little kid in elementary school to a full-grown adult, and during these times, like, there's a lot going on, and there are times where the character can be really relatable in a sense. Like, so, everybody has their highs and lows, and that's what they show in the manga. Like, not only does the main character has his highs and lows, but everybody else around him, family, friends, they have their highs and their lows. And depending on how they're feeling that day, it can affect other people. You know what I mean? Like his mother has, she has mental issues. She's pretty crazy and she's going through stuff. And his uncle is going through stuff. His uncle is he has mental health issues. A lot of them do, including the main character. And they go through with it their own way. You know what I'm saying? His father left him, when he was a kid. Him and his mother divorced. They divorced, and he went on to do whatever he went to do. And I don't want to really spoil it for y'all. Like, I really want y'all to read it. So yeah, like you really just see the process of like him growing up, and you can relate to it in some ways because at certain ages, people have those certain characteristics about themselves, and they do certain actions, and they have certain situations that they go through at those certain ages, like what it's like to like somebody, just like what it's like to go through high school and middle school and making friends and not having any friends, and just trying to figure out who you are as a person, going through the motions and everything, and waking up through life, just seeing like what's around you, and you kind of being a product in your environment, and you learning off what people are telling you and what you've seen, like in person. And with you being a product of your environment and listening to like family and friends and hearing lessons and stuff, you become similar to those people that taught you those things in some way. So the protagonist's uncle is kind of he's kind of like his guide. You know what I mean? Like he kind of guides him through life. When before as he's a kid, and as you see the character grow up, he becomes more and more like his uncle. But he was kind of like his uncle since he was a kid, because that was the one who pretty much taught him, guided him through life. You know what I mean? And You know, his uncle ain't the best of people, and like nobody's perfect in this. In fact, it's kind of like um, the thing with manga that I don't like um, is that there are times where the characters can be relatable, and then all of a sudden, like a chapter, or like there would be certain chapters where the character goes left for no reason. You know what I mean? Like there were times where like the character did something that they didn't need to do. Like it wasn't really necessary for that to happen, if that makes sense. And it kind of throws you off. And you know, in some instances, like there'll probably be people who will drop the manga because of that. It's like it just didn't need to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying he's supposed to 100% relate to me, but there are times where like the characters did some shit that was just like, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? Or why did you act that way? You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just not, you know. And throughout the manga, like I said, everybody has their highs and their lows, but the protagonist and his family, they're genuinely depressed. Like they are depressed and they're just down all the time. Like no matter how many times they try to be happy, they feel as if they don't deserve it, or just things just don't go their way. Especially like the uncle, you know, uncle had that problem. He had, you know, real life depression and anxiety and everything. Like so, he went to go see a therapist because he really felt like he didn't deserve to be happy, and he didn't really he didn't like himself, if that makes sense. And you know, I'm sure there's people out there that feel that way about themselves, and I want to say, do not hate yourself. You can be your worst enemy. Do not put so much pressure on yourself that is not needed. If you don't, if don't nobody love you, you have to love yourself. And I know that's easier said than done, but you have to try to practice it, you know. So you have to try to practice that. But also, yeah, like the especially the protagonist is very depressed. You know, he didn't have the best relationship with his mother, so like even you know even through certain situations, he really just didn't care for her, you know. And a lot of the reasons why he was depressed is because you know he has a hard time dealing with people. If that makes like he's a lot of the reasons why he became depressed is his own fault. He made bad decisions that he didn't need to make. And yeah, you can make an excuse of sometimes, hey, he's young, you know, he's learning, but there are times where he makes stupid decisions and he know that the decision is dumb to make, and he knows the end result. And he knows that in the end, pretty much he's gonna feel a certain way. So he kind of does it to himself, and you know it's sad. You know what I'm saying? Like he has good moments, but they don't last long, pretty much. And I don't know what happens at the end because I'm still reading it, but you know he's still learning how to process life. Like that's pretty much what it is. Just he's learning the process of life and how and what his role is in it. You know, he doesn't know what to do, and he's kind of figuring it out, and it's hard to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell you to be a kid, but at the same time, you gotta figure out what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a hard middle ground, you know. And like I said, there are some times where he is relatable, but then there are some times where he's just like a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like for like another thing that I can't really relate on him about. Once he got to puberty on to like him being an adult, it just felt like he was just a hornball, like all the time. Like you know what I'm saying? Like hormones is a natural thing, but he literally was he literally has hornball fever, like he literally. But you know, it's not every chapter, but it's a good amount of chapters, you know. And he goes to these relationships with different people, you know what I'm saying, whether it's friends or girlfriends or just one night stands or just whatever. And it's like every situation you would think that he would try to learn from it, but he makes a mistake in these situations and it makes it worse. His mental becomes worse. And the thing with him is, especially with like, you know, people like young adults and teenagers, a lot of us, once something goes wrong for us, we kind of just give up. Or like we might think about giving up and we can't do that. So like something to go wrong and he would just like, you know, just go into hiding and like not and try not to deal with it, you know. And it's not a good thing, you know, because it's not healthy. You know, it's not healthy because especially when it's your fault, you know, that's not healthy to do. So yeah. And it's like he's not the only character that we see, like that we see character development from. We see like the people around him, like his classmates and stuff, grow too. And another problem that he has is he had a problem with, um, and this is a problem that a lot of people have. I feel like a lot of people have a problem with letting go of their past. So the girl that he liked when he was little, you know, she liked him too. But after they left middle school, he hasn't seen her. So it's been years since he's seen her, and then like he finally sees her or whatever. And you know, this is at a point in time where he's, you know, they're all adults now, but once he sees her, he's lying about his life for no reason. Well, there is a reason, but like he's took on another identity to, you know, put on a facade. And it sucks because, you know, you just see him lying and it ain't doing nothing but making it worse. And then she's talking too, and you kind of can tell that she's lying too. So everybody's pretty fucked up in this story. I'm not gonna lie, but there are some lessons that you can learn from this story. That's the thing with Japan. Japan has lessons in their stories, but the way that they go about them can be a little weird, and they can go left. But there are topics that they talk about, real life issues that people can relate to, and people can really think like, oh, like I can relate to this, and you know, I'm trying to better myself because I went through this and stuff like that. So, you know, they're lying to each other, but they eventually like, I guess like getting together now. And so it's weird. It's a weird situation, but like, you know, I'm what what I do, what I say that I'm enjoying the story. I mean, I am reading this, so I am enjoying it somewhat. Just like there are some aspects that I don't really care for, but as far as the life lessons and reading in between the lines and the deep thoughts and just seeing like it's such a crazy thing to think about because there are really people out there who write these stories and they remind you that, like, you know, any type of story, they remind you that you're not the only one who goes through these type of things. There are billions of people on earth, yet we can all have similar experiences because that's just how life works, you know. Like, we all have similar experiences. We are not the same, and we all don't go through all the same things, but we have our similarities at the end of the day. And it's so crazy to think about. It's like, damn, and like I probably went through that, or like, damn, that happened to me, you know. And not that I can't relate to everything in that story. I know I keep saying it, but like I can't relate. But like just going through those hard times and trying to figure it out definitely resonates with me. You know, not wanting to, you know, being introverted That's another thing too. I don't really fuck with people like that. Like I don't have a hard time conversing with people. I just don't like people. Um, yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. Like how people can tell a story and bring interest to the reader, even though I know that's their job. But like it's crazy to think about. It's like music. How people can make a song and people can like they know that people will gravitate towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a beautiful thing, and it sucks now because you hear stories of like, and you see watch videos of like people saying that kids can't read. Like kids nowadays can't read, and you know I'm Gen Z, so I know there's some dumb motherfuckers around me, but it's really the Gen Alpha kids that I'm worried about, because there are I've heard you know I have family who are teachers and they're like damn, like these kids like it's looking bad for them pretty much, you know. And you see videos and like middle schoolers reading at a third grade level, like that shouldn't be the case. Did I like to read when I was younger? Not really. You know, there were certain books here and there, but like not really. But I knew how to read though. You know what I'm saying? And it's a different factor with like, you know, when I was in school, you know, and before me, it was like the people who could not read, you know, they needed help because you know it was challenging, and that's not the problem that I'm trying to get to. The problem that I'm getting to is that a lot of these kids can't read because nobody's nobody's making them. And I'm not talking about the teachers, I'm talking about their parents and the people around them. If all they do nowadays is be on the media and their iPads, and the problem with that is a lot of parents are not watching their kids and seeing what they're actually doing on those iPads and those phones and computers and everything, which it shows, like through their behavior and you know academic wise. Like if you're gonna give them the iPad every 2 seconds when you want them to shut up, at least put on something educational. Like instead of letting them scroll on TikTok all day, because that's not healthy. There's no reason for kids to know more TikTok dances than fucking multiplication problems, or they shouldn't be able to fucking watch TikTok all day and not be able to read chapter books at their age. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty fucked up because that's just only showing you what the future holds. You know what I'm saying? We have all of this technology and have all of these things, yet kids can't read or do anything. I'm not saying all kids, but a good amount of them. If there's videos popping up saying that these kids cannot read, and these aren't special ed classes, these are regular classes, it's sad. It's really sad, man. And like it's fundamental. Like reading is fundamental. You may not like it, but it's very fundamental, especially in the future. Reading contracts, reading assignments, doing homework, just subtitles, little things, you know. And I just feel bad. Like I feel bad, man. I feel bad. I really do feel bad, you know, that kids know more about YouTube videos and who's streaming and who's doing certain dances and all of that more than they know how to read. Like there just needs to be a balance, you know what I mean? That's all. It just needs to. I feel like people are having kids when they're not ready. And that's always been the case, but life is harder now, man. Like everything is so expensive and everything is pretty like it's pretty fucked up out here, man. And people are having kids, you know, at younger age because they just ready to have sex and it ends up, with kids having kids. The only thing is, these kids around my age, they don't have a fucking clue of what's going on. So it's like, a dummy can't teach a dummy. You know what I mean? Like, a dumb motherfucker gonna teach a dumb motherfucker dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's no effort. There's no, like, there's nothing. But yeah. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Just I've been reading, just reading some stories and shit, and it sucks. In the generation, they can't read, they can't do a lot of stuff that they should be able to do. I don't know why they took cursive writing out of the school system. But I'm not even gonna get more into that. I'm not even gonna do that. But yeah, all of those stories that I've told y'all about in this, I'll probably put it in the description. With the good night Pum Pum story, if I'll give a warning about that. If you've experienced essay or anything like that, there's a warning in there. It does. I wouldn't say it happens a lot, but it does happen. Maybe like once or twice. So I'll give a warning for that if you were planning to read that, and if you've been through that experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to traumatize you. So I'll give you that warning. And I can't really tell you how drastic it is because everybody had, if you've been through that, you had your own experience. So I can't really tell you like, oh, it's not that bad. So yeah, I'll give you the warning on that. But I'll leave the stories in the description. Want y'all to stay up and have a good 2024. I'm out. Peace.